There's this video going around about a guy, I think if it's in the UK, who was just going on a rant. I mean, he looked higher than the freaking tallest building in the world. I don't know what the hell was wrong with him. He was like all this. Not excusing him, he was a piece of shit. And let's be honest, I kind of enjoyed he got socked. And you gotta admit, it was a very good fucking punch. But here's another thing. This goes into a lot of hands of what Antifa and BLM have been doing, and that is escalating. What people don't understand that, even as a society, if we took away, governments, police, and all these kind of things, and society were just to basically self-regulate, a very normal social norm that would come out of, from the society itself would be that these norms against escalation, and there's a reason for that. Because right now in the US, you're kind of safe. I mean, you're gonna punch this guy, well, in the UK, in this case, you're gonna punch this guy, what's the worst thing he can do? He can sue you, maybe you get arrested for a couple of days, get a fine, and that's it. But if we take away, and you push people too far, that you're only the one escalating and the other side cannot escalate more, that's what you're gonna get. They're going to escalate more. And one thing, well, I live in Guatemala. Everyone, well, who knows me knows that. And thing you have to understand is that when that thing breaks down, I mean, there are regions here where they kicked out the Zetas. Let me make that very clear. The Zetas, those Mexican drug cartels who were extremely brutal, they were kicked out of here in many areas. It wasn't done with a penned letter, just letting you know that. So why does society always, look for proportionality in strength when there's a response? Like if I call you an idiot, you can't pull out a gun and shoot me. I mean, legally or morally speaking, because then where's the limit? And that's what these things are trying to prevent. As I said again, right now BLM and Antifa have been destroying buildings, beating people up, which, by the way, that guy, that guy they kicked during the ground, I think it was in Portland. From what I understand from Tim Pool, who's a very good source, he was actually trying to defend a trans person, and he was, protecting this person during this, this protection thing he was doing, and trying to get this person away from someone else who was attacking them. I think he crashed, and for some reason they took it badly, because it kind of like happened to be with one of the riots, and they beat the crap out of him. So it's kind of ironic because he was protecting the people these guys are promoting, basically. So, and then there's this guy who says, "Oh, I was just fighting him." Well, it only takes only an Antifa guy to think that kicking someone who's already on the ground as a fight. These kind of actions will, one moment, if you take away, like it's happening in many places, police and the systems and all these kind of things, if you escalate, then this allows for the other side to escalate more. And some people always say, oh, I commented this in a forum, and they're like, oh, it's clearly that you can't take a punch, blah, 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 blah. And I had this thing with one of my friends too. It's a very close friend of mine, but I got him mad one time, and he said, "Oh, I'm gonna kick your ass." And what I responded was, "Why stop there? Why don't you go all the way? If you're gonna threaten me, go all the way. What are we, kids? Why are you gonna try to kick my ass?" And that's where you're gonna reach. People are used to like the worst thing, in first world countries that can happen is someone kicking your ass. That's the worst thing that can happen. They're gonna mob beat you. Well, we live in areas where that's like every day, and we're very Irish in that sense. We can kick each other's ass, and 5 minutes later, we're gulping down beers and saying, "Oh, that was a good punch." That's because that's nothing. When we escalate here, I mean, this is gonna sound horrible, and if you don't want to hear it, you can turn the video off right now. But basically, this reaches to the point where it's not uncommon for certain individuals of certain careers, let's say that, tend to have entire families exterminated because of an insult. So, this is what people have to understand. When there's escalation, you have to imagine that it exists, the sky's the limit. This is not, I'm gonna punch you and we're gonna be fine. I'm gonna punch you and I demonstrate how much of a man I am. Oh, you're gonna punch me, I'm gonna draw a knife. Oh, I draw a knife, then you're gonna draw a gun. Oh, I'm gonna draw a machine gun. Oh, you're gonna bring 50 people. I'm gonna bring 100 people. And guess what? It's gonna end with what I said. I mean, there's gonna be someone who's gonna be eminently more powerful. It's gonna be a type of warlord, basically, kind of like Chad in Seattle or something. And they're gonna look to eradicate you completely. And I'm not gonna go into the description of how, but it's horrible. Just let me put it this way: you, the offender, you'll be left for last. Figure it out. I mean, watch a movie or something, I don't know, but nothing has been able to, in my knowledge so far, has been able to capture what really happens. So this is why escalation is never a good idea. If someone insults you, either, keep it at the same level or just ignore it. I mean, words don't really hurt you. Oh, you're a dumbass. Okay, who cares? Yeah, sure, whatever. I have a higher IQ than you guys. Fuck you. I don't care. I mean, if you're gonna verbally assault me, I just turn around and leave. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? And as I said, I mean, you have to understand that there are situations why, in certain places, like in Latin America, maybe except Chile, if you do that, you don't know who you're doing it to. And that person, you don't know where he's going to want to keep escalating to. So it's not a good idea to go around and say, I'm going to kick your ass, because they're just going to laugh it off. They're going to let you win that bar seat or something. And then when you're the last, if you know what when I'm talking about the eradication thing, trust me, you're not going to give a rat's ass about that bar seat. And that's what society is coming to, when people can escalate without any repercussions and doing it freely, and in many cases being justified to do it. So please, some restraint. Yeah, as I've done in other videos, I can understand your grievances, but I also say in those same videos, these actions that you're taking are wrong, because it leads to a very dark place that many of us know where it is. But in Western democracies, you've been lucky you haven't met them so much. Can't say the same about Europe, because there are no-go zones there. There's a reason for that. I mean, you try to kick someone's ass, especially a mob, because they haven't gotten in line and doing one-on-one. A mob of Antifa, soy-drinking, skinny little shits, mobbing a single guy. Go do that in a no-go zone. Go do that in a culture. Come down to Mexico. Come down to Guatemala and do it here. What do you think is going to happen? That's what you're going to turn up out there. And that's not what you want. Many people have died. Many people have fought. Many people have suffered to bring the level of civilization you have there. Don't ruin it because your fifis were hurt for some X reason. Oh, he said something not nasty that you consider nasty. Most people would just not care, consider it a compliment. Please, some restraint. Have a great one.